When I went to Bible school, I received a really good piece of advice. An old preacher said this to me before I started, right at the beginning of school. I was only about 3 or 4 weeks into school. And he came down. He was one of the preachers, actually, one of the special speakers that was there. And I asked him if he wanted to pray with me. And so we went out to his car. It was during the prayer meeting, and we prayed. And we got talking. And he said, while you're here in school, he said, take notes on everything. He said, whether you understand it or not, just write it down. Just take notes on it. He said, because sometime down the road, those things that you wrote down, those notes that maybe it didn't all make sense at the time, they're gonna make sense to you down the road. And boy, was he right. 10 and 15, I'm trying to think here, I graduated in 05, so we're talking 16 years later. There's things that I'm seeing in the scripture now that I was taught in theory, or I was taught 16 or even 20 years ago, that now they're just kind of starting to click and make a little bit more sense. What was that? That was knowledge that was put in a long time ago that was stored up and is now coming back and bearing fruit. And for the young people, that's a very important lesson to learn. You're storing up knowledge right now, okay? You might not be using everything right now, but you're storing it up for a time when you are going to use it. Let me close with this illustration. I was talking to a young man a number of months ago, and he was relating to me some of the things that God was doing in his life. And basically, what I got out of it was that the Lord was teaching him to trust him. And I sat there and he was giving me these examples like, man, I just got to rely on the Lord in this. And the Lord, I relied on him. I prayed about this. And he came through. And he's just at this position where it was just kind of him and God. And if God doesn't come through, then, I'm going to be on the street type deal. Like God has to come through. He has to provide for me. And so he tells me all of that. And I was just soaking up. I was enjoying hearing how God was speaking to him in his life. But the reality is, I know the kid and I know his upbringing, and I know that everything he is talking to me about, he's known for like 15 years. He learned it in Sunday school. He learned it in Sunday school when he was 5 years old, and he probably learned it when he was 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, and he stored up knowledge. All those years, he just really wasn't given the opportunity to put it into practice and experience it. And now at 20 or 21 or 22 years old, now he has the actual circumstance in his life where he has to execute on that knowledge that he was given. Now, thank the Lord, he has that basis to go back. And thank the Lord, he's making the right decisions on those things. But that's how it works with a consistent devotional life. Some of it, you don't see it all right now, but in years to come, that's what it meant. That's what it was talking about. Now I know what to do.